Let's take a break. Coffee break, that is. Mura del cafecito.
Welcome to another coffee break where we're able to learn, discuss, and discover various topics. So I'm glad you're able to join me on your coffee break today. So grab yourself a hot cup of coffee, hot cup of tea, hot cup of cocoa, or whatever it is that you're having on your break today, and have a seat. Today's topic, we'll be looking at essential life skills, and I've compiled a list of essential life skills that I feel that you'll definitely need in order for you to be ready for whatever life throws at you. And we know that life is definitely full of surprises with its ups and its downs, its happy moments and its sad moments, and that it'll throw us a curveball once in a while. And you know, for those of you entering this world, welcome to adulthood, right? So, but if you want to save yourself from these nasty surprises in adulthood, or at least prepare yourself just a little bit better from these nasty surprises, that you hopefully are understanding the essential life skills that you need, and that you're working towards building your understanding with some of the ones that I will be sharing, if not all of them. But it's always good to know and acquire the necessary basic life skills to be able to navigate adulthood. You know, for you young people, you know, I hope that you know, if you are preparing yourself to becoming an adult and you're thinking that far ahead, then because it'll come sooner than later, that these are basic life skills that you as a young person will need in order to be prepared for some of those surprises that adulthood and adulting will bring you. So grab yourself a pen and paper and jot these down. If not, just go ahead and save this video and use it for future reference. So let's dive right into it. And I think the one on top of my list is money and budgeting skills. It's definitely important to know how to count your money right, and know what you have in your bank accounts, know what you have in your savings accounts, know what you're spending, know what's coming in. And it's important to understand your money math, right? So that you don't get robbed, whether it's at the store, by an app, even, you know, by your bank. I mean, sometimes mistakes are made, and if you don't catch those, then oh well, right? So it's important to know your money and budgeting skills, because it'll definitely help you in the long run, especially, you know, as a young adult or an adult, you are perhaps spending more than you are making. So it's important to know where to make those necessary budget cuts in order for you to stay on budget and live according to what's coming in, right? Because you want to make sure that you also understand credit and how that works, because you can definitely get yourself in trouble if you don't. So money and budgeting is on the top of my list. Partnered with that, you have tax preparation. It's important to understand how taxes work, how to prepare your own taxes. If you are a young person, a single person, there's really no need to pay for a tax preparer unless, of course, you know, you have your own business, or, you know, you have a very complicated set of tax preparation needs. Because you can definitely go to, as an example, here in California, if you go to the state website, you can go to the Franchise Tax Board, FTB.org or .gov, and they offer you many tools to be able to file your taxes yourself online, free of charge, right? So you don't have to pay $50 to $100 to a tax preparer to do that for you, and you can file online and get a direct deposit as well, or check, however you prefer to do that. If you're filing your federal taxes, same thing, go to the IRS.gov website, and there are many application opportunities there to be able to fill out your federal tax returns, fill in the information, and again, something that can be directly deposited to you or mailed out as a check. And of course, you know, everything can be filed online as well. So please understand tax preparation, understand your taxes, what you're being charged for as taxes, so that you can understand how the returns work. Very, very important. You know, as a kid, as a young person, or as an adult, this next one is definitely one of those that will prepare you for adulthood, especially being out, right? Being social. You want to make sure that you have some sort of clothing skills, right? Some sort of dressing skills, because you will find yourself with different opportunities to participate in different things in the adult world. You're invited to a dinner, you're invited to an event, you're invited to a business opportunity, and you need to have some sort of dressing sense or clothing skills in order to be able to navigate that. Young men, make sure that you do know how to tie a tie, you do know how to tie a bow. It's very important. Do not in any professional setting wear these snap-ons. I'm sure that'll be okay for a family gathering, but you have those relatives that'll call you on it. Be prepared for that as well. But please, young men, know how to tie a tie. It's very important. Know how to iron your clothes, right? So that goes along with your clothing skills and being able to take care of your clothing as you're growing up and as you're participating in social opportunities. The next one is personal grooming. It's definitely important to be able to, again, depending on the situation, depending on the opportunity, to be able to groom yourself appropriately for that occasion, or for how it is expected of you, because you might be invited to certain opportunities and they will tell you, okay, professional or casual or formal, whatever the case might be. But along with personal grooming, it's just ensuring that you are taking care of yourself in the personal aspect of grooming yourself, so that you don't get the Fuji face from anybody at an event, an activity, or a party, whatever that might be. With that, or coupled with that, of course, comes the cleanliness and hygiene. Practice cleanliness and practice good hygiene. Whether it's the deodorants, the perfumes, the colognes, all that good stuff. Make sure that you are using it appropriately. With cleanliness, don't just throw on the cologne or the perfume without having showered or bathed. Make sure that that happens as well, and that you present yourself in a clean way in any professional event, or any social event, or just whenever you're out in public. And when you're at home on your own and not interacting, that's a whole different story, right? It's important to understand also personal health care and understanding basic first aid. As an adult, you are no longer at home with mommy or daddy, and so you need to know how to take care of yourself when you have a cold, when you have a flu, or where you get a cut, and so forth. So make sure that you understand the basics, even when it takes to opening that aspirin bottle and knowing how many did it take. It's important to understand personal health care, things that you can take for certain things, teas that you can make for yourself, from the herbs in the garden, just like the way mom used to do for you on your own. And of course, understanding basic first aid, because you will possibly get cut, you will possibly get scratched, and it's important to know as a life skill to better take care of yourself when this does happen, because it will happen, right? So that's on your list. You also want to make sure that you are practicing and understanding manners. Please make sure that you do have manners when you're out and about, socializing, whether it's activities, events, and so forth. It's just manners in general, in dealing with people. That's very important, and that your social skills are definitely being honed, and that you are developing your social skills to be able to interact with the world out there as an adult, because there are some things that are definitely appropriate to do as an adult, and there are things that are appropriate to do when you were a kid, or if you are a young person. And of course, some of those don't translate very well from one to another, so make sure that you are practicing your social skills appropriate to the category that you are in, right? You also want to make sure that you have some sort of sense and set of domestic skills, right? You know how to manage your own home, especially if you're a young person and you've gotten your own apartment, or you're living with someone else as a roomie, or even you're dorming in college, or you're an adult and you already have your own place. Of course, it's important to build those skills when it comes to managing your home. Know how to sweep, know how to mop, know how to clean properly, right? And of course, everything that comes with that, and understanding the chemicals, understanding the cleaners themselves, and how to clean properly, which is very important. You also want to make sure that if you are driving, that you, of course, if you're driving, I hope you already have a license. If not, you're working towards it, but you are learning and getting yourself educated on whether it's driving in rural areas, driving in urban areas, or driving in suburban areas, that you have those skills necessary to be able to manage those environments, but that you also understand and are building your skills in auto maintenance. It's important, and this goes, to the young ladies and women out there as well. If you have a car, you must know how to change a tire, man or woman, young man or young lady. Know how to change a tire. Know how to change your own oil and spark plugs and the basics. Yes, we can definitely pay someone to do it, but there's nothing like knowing how to do it on your own as a life skill, so that you can take care of it on your own when you don't have the availability of funds, or the ability to want to hire someone and pay somebody else to do something as simple as changing a light bulb, or changing a fuse, or changing your oil or spark plugs, the basic stuff, because you might be taking a trip and you might break down. So it's important to understand the basics of maintaining your vehicle. And same thing goes with your bike, right? Make sure that you are maintaining any form of transportation that you are using, so that you don't have to rely on someone else to be able to fix it for you when some minor things happen. In this day and age, of course, you have your smartphone, so in understanding navigational skills, right? You just boop, 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 plug it into your smartphone, and it gives you the GPS coordinates, and it gives you instructions, and it talks to you, and it tells you where to get. Well, it's important to understand how to use a map. Okay, so it's important to understand where north is, where south is, where east is, where west is, what time the sun rises, what time the sun sets. So please understand and know some basic navigational skills, so that if you ever are in a position where you're stuck, whether it's on a trip or on vacation, and something happens. Nature has a funny way of giving us some surprises too, that you know how to navigate it, and you understand basic navigational skills if needed and when needed, because at some point in your life you will definitely need it and use it. Make sure that you also understand and build on your own behavioral skills, right? And that goes with what I shared before about some of those social skills, but behaviors, really knowing how to act and how to control your emotions in dealing with yourself and dealing with others, right? So there's appropriate ways to behave and inappropriate ways to behave, and it's important to know that. And that goes along with coping with your emotions and understanding emotional intelligence. And what that is not only having the ability to recognize your emotions, controlling them, but also using them to improve if it's something that's negative that you're doing, or perhaps helping someone else cope with their emotions and what they're dealing with. So that's definitely very important. And I think I've said a couple times, you're out and about, you're on vacation, you're on a trip. It's important that you also have the skills to stay safe. It's very, very important. Whether you're on a trip, whether you're on vacation, you're out on an adventure, or you're just out and about in the city, you're out and about in the neighborhood. You gotta have those skills in order to stay safe. As a young person, I see this happen too much, where young people are so distracted by their phone that their face is buried in their phone and their headphones are at full blast. And of course, the world doesn't mean anything to them while they're riding the bus or walking down the street or on the train. And, you can get robbed, you can get mugged. Many things can happen to you because they want to take what you have, or just hurt you because they know that you're not in tune with what's going on around you. So make sure that you have the skills to stay safe, know what streets to stay on or stay off of. Know that it's important to be in well-lit places, especially if you are by yourself. So make sure that you are building your skill set, and especially when it comes to understanding skills in order for you to stay safe, again, whether it's at home or whether it's out and about. Also very important to be able to have and build your tool chest when it comes to basic problem solving skills, right? Know how to solve problems, because as you're growing up as an adult, you might not have someone there to either solve them for you, right? In most cases for young people, but that you have some basic knowledge when it comes to knowing and understanding how to solve your own problems. And this could be whether they're personal problems, physical problems, or just problems of whatever might arise. It's also important to have basic educational skills, right? Know how to add, know how to subtract, know how to divide, know how to multiply, reading, comprehension, understanding the alphabet and things like that. It's very, very important that you understand those, and that you are, if you have the opportunity and you are in school, and if you're not in school, make sure that you brush up on these from time to time so that you are able to navigate, any type of educational need by understanding basic educational skills. So, that's again important to have some basic educational skills. Along with that, you want to make sure that you are building your skill set by understand what it is to set goals and to work towards achieving those goals, right? And knowing how to prioritize the things in your life as a young adult going into adulthood, about when you are setting your goals, that you're prioritizing them and based off of need. Very, very important. As a young adult going into adulthood, or even for adults, excuse me, it's very important to know and practice time management. It is the worst thing for me, at least in one of my biggest pet peeves, to set meetings or set, whether they're for just social engagement or professional, that people don't know what being on time means, and especially young people. Not that I'm picking on young people, but I think I've had that issue more with young people rather than adults. But please, there are definitely, opportunities in your life that require you to know how to manage your time. And that's whether it's for school, for work, for social environment, and knowing how to manage your time. But just being there when you say you're going to be there. And, this is one of those things that, for some adults is still very difficult for them to do. But time management is of such importance, and it is not an excuse to say, well, that's just how we are, or that's just how our culture is. That is simply just an excuse, and you need to get yourself, on time to wherever it is you're supposed to be, without any excuses. Period. Okay, so we won't discuss that any further. You also, and that goes along with, knowing and understanding your decision-making skills, right? So knowing the process of how to make good decisions based on certain things, and knowing how to, weigh the pros and cons of everything before making a decision. And of course, that falls in line with some of the problem-solving skills, but decision-making skills are just a little more specific to understanding how to say yes or no, right? And choosing between your wants, your needs, and making those differentiation. Of course, And just to round it off, I think I've given you quite a bit, but just to round it off, it's important that you, as a young person and as a young adult and even an adult, that you have employability skills, right? What are the skills that are going to get you the job for whatever it is that you want to do? And if you do have some job experience that you've learned, whatever it is at your previous job, to be able to be employed in the same arena because of the skills that you gained at your previous employment. If you are a young person and entering the workforce, of course, you don't have much experience, but absorb as much as you can when you do get a job, so that you build on your employability skills, right? So that when they ask you, well, what can you do? Then you can say, I can do this, 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 right? It's very important. So rounds it off. I think it was about 19 or 20 different life skills that you need as a youth going into adulthood. And for some of you adults who have never really given this much thought, these are some essential life skills that you must have. Money and budgeting, tax preparation, having some clothing skills or a sense of how to dress, personal grooming, cleanliness and hygiene, understanding basic first aid, right, and personal health care, having manners and social skills, domestic skills, knowing how to take care of your home, right, managing your home, maintenance skills, and driving are very important, navigational skills, communication skills, behavioral skills, skills to stay safe, coping with your own emotions, problem solving, basic education skills, goal setting, time management, decision making, and employability skills. It's very, very important. And I did leave one out, which is very important, I think, as well, and that's organization skills. And that's knowing how to organize yourself so that you're not a mess, right? If you do have people coming over to hang out, that your place is a mess. For some, it's not an issue or they don't care, but I mean, it's important to know how to organize yourself, not only in your personal life, in your school life, in your work life, right? Because the better you are organized, the better you are at doing things, because it's easier to find whatever it is that you need to be doing, right? So we'll round it off with 21 essential life skills for you to be ready to take on those surprises that adulthood brings you and the adult life brings you. And if you don't have these skills or really have not thought about it, that you are getting these skills so that you can survive, right, as an adult. So with that being said, I think that's it for today's Coffee Break. So make sure that you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell and share this video. So get back to work or whatever it is that you are doing, and we'll see you on our next Coffee Break. Thanks.